Hello, technology transcenders. We're going to do a brief overview of an ASUS router running with the Merlin firmware. I wanted to do this so that you could customize your router as you want. Once you log into your router, you'll see the basic login screen, where you can see things like internet traffic, how hard your CPU is working, the amount of RAM you have, and the ports in the back of the router that are plugged in or not. Up here, you'll see your internet status, and you can also see if you have a dynamic DNS set up, if that's connected and working. Lower, you'll be able to see your networked drives if they're installed and how much space you have left on them, the amount of clients connected to your wireless router at this time, and many other options on the left. But we're only going to touch on a few this morning. First, we're going to go to guest network. Here you can enable or disable multiple guest networks on both the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz band. When you hit enable, it'll allow you to fill in all the settings for usernames, passwords, that kind of stuff. By default, the guest network does not allow one user to connect to your network or one user to connect to your other users on GuestNet. It only allows it to go out to the internet. So all your data and every user on your guest network should be separate from one another. Now we'll also drop down to parental controls. This is where you can turn these off and on and choose what type of filtering you want on each of them. After turning it on, you can select what computer or device on your network you want to filter, and you can show what type of things you want to filter on that. So if you have an iPad that your kids use that you don't want to see adult or instant messaging or a lot of other options, you can simply choose that and click Add on the right and Apply at the bottom, and that will block that device from accessing the internet in these ways. You can also schedule times for all of the devices on the network or certain devices on the network to be able to access the internet or not. It's set up in the same way as the web filters by the IP address of the device. I'm sorry, by the MAC address of the device. And you simply create a rule and add it, and that device will only be able to access the internet during those times. Very helpful if you have certain limitations you want to place on kids or certain devices in your home. The other thing that I wanted to look at today is called the adaptive quality of service. This is where you can pick certain devices from your network and give them higher priority over others. You simply select which devices you want, select the pecking order, so to speak, of who will get internet access, and save it. And it will then give, say, your streaming TV higher access than, say, a laptop or an iPad. So those are a couple of really useful tools, and it should be about all you need. If you're ever having some issues with your router, one of the first places to go once you log in is reboot. By clicking reboot, it kind of resets the router, and it should clear up most any problems that you have. However, these routers tend to be amazingly robust and don't seem to have any problems. Plus, I schedule your router to usually restart in the very early morning to clear up any issues it might have as well. So there's a brief review of how you can set up both parental controls and quality of service on your router. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at info@transcendent.studio. Thank you again, and have a wonderful and safe day on the internet. Thank you.